Before I begin, I'd like to put this on Instagram real quick. So everyone just move closer together so I can take a picture. Because if you don't put it on Instagram, did it really even happen? Okay, it's on. My elders, brothers, and sisters, Salamun Alaikum. As you may or may not have noticed, the topic I chose to discuss today has to do with the increasing importance and role that social media plays in the way we live our lives in the 21st century. Social media can be defined as a social interaction amongst people in which they create, share, or exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. The internet contains abundance of information in so many different mediums that we have not only the ability to source, but also the ability to be a part of its making and creation. With the power that comes with modern technology, more specifically with social media networks, such as Facebook and Twitter, we are now able to reach a demographic of millions of people within the click of a button. What intrigues people is its capability to provide real-time connectedness, giving individuals a personal focus with a global reach. All this available at the palm of our hand, and more importantly, it's free. For the first time in history, we are now given the chance, previously as members of the audience, to be a producer rather than just a consumer. The reader of the book can now become the author, the listener to the radio can now become the broadcaster, and the television viewer can now become the director. It's as if you just bought a book and they threw in the printing press, or you bought a phone that could be transformed into a radio with the touch of a button. What is happening is that every time a consumer joins this media outlet, a producer joins as well. Everything has its advantages and disadvantages, its positives and negatives. The topic in particular, social media, has a vast range of pros and cons, and we must make sure to dispose of them in the best manner possible, as well as remember to always maintain our Islamic values. The choice we face is no longer whether we'd like to operate in this type of media environment. Rather, the choice we face is how we can make the best use of it. In May 2008, China had an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.9. The earthquake was reported as it was happening through pictures, texting, and social media. The BBC News Corporation got its news from Twitter minutes before the US Geological Survey had put it up. The last time China had an earthquake of that magnitude, it took them 3 months to admit that it just happened. For a while, 9 out of the top 10 URLs with most clicks were links to articles and videos of the earthquake, the 10th being a video of kittens on a treadmill. But that's the internet for you. Within half a day, donations were pouring in from around the globe. In another scenario, a marketing professor at Ryerson University and co-owner of Blue Dog's Barbecue in downtown Toronto saw his dreams come to life through the power of social media. After a visit to this restaurant, members of a boy band visiting the Air Canada Centre tweeted their compliments to the restaurant, leading them to be talked about and trending across the globe. This gave him multiple opportunities, including the chance of meeting members of the Blue Jays team, being featured on Dragon's Den, and the chance to cater the George Stroumboulopoulos show. And the last scenario, which I'm sure most of you have heard of, is the Ice Bucket Challenge. This topic, although controversial in its methods, spread across the globe instantly through the medium of social media. The challenge asked individuals to pour ice water over their head and to challenge 3 other people to do the same. A person refusing to do the challenge would have to donate to the cause. Within days, people had begun creating millions of videos raising awareness about a disease that nobody had heard of less than a week previous to the challenge. As we can see, social media can provide us with multiple different ways to bring about positive change in our lives, not including the fact that we are now given the freedom to share our views on things we are passionate about. On the downside, others now have the freedom to spread negative opinions on the things we do and say, and more specifically, their views on the religion of Islam. This can be put alongside the point that a whole new window of opportunities to sin arises, which brings about the question, how effective would it be to deny ourselves the use of these networks? This would all need to be answered, bearing in mind that millions of Muslims across the globe are active daily on social media networks. If I were to ask people in this room how many were active on social media, about 90% of you would say you are active. The other 10% will be the ones on their phone on social media not paying attention. At this point, the problem now returns to the original question being asked, which is, how can we make best use of the resources and the platform we have been provided with? Almost 1400 years ago, on the night of Ashura, Imam Hussein made the call, Hal min nasirin yansuruna? Is there anyone who can help me? After his companions had passed away. This wasn't a call to war, but it was a call to humanity, a call for us Muslims in the 21st century to use our knowledge, talents, and resources to spread the knowledge and to spread his message, and to strive to transform the world into a better place. In a generation of modern technologies being innovated so constantly, the resources we have are innumerable, available at the edge of our fingertips. After the events of September 11, 2001, social media networks were used by the enemies of Islam to constantly attack people's view on the religion. It is our duty to use our own words to magnify the core values of Islam, such as peace, justice, the nobility of human beings, equality of human beings, and servitude to God through these resources that we have been provided with. Just over a year ago, I was given the blessed opportunity to create the outline for a campaign to spread the message of peace in Islam. Not only was I able to connect with multiple people to brainstorm ideas through the method of social media networks, but I was also able to connect a website, Twitter, and Facebook page, all linked together, giving viewers opportunity to interact and give their opinions on the message. The website, islamispeace.ca, contains multiple articles by respected scholars. The Facebook page generated an audience of almost 300 people, while the Twitter page is followed by a combination of almost 3,000 Muslims and non-Muslims. While the internet may be used in different ways and it continues to grow, we must be careful to keep away from sinful acts or turning this network into an activity that diverts our minds from reaching our goals, connecting with others, and achieving nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We must ask ourselves, are we valuing the internet over our relationships? Are we doing so much that we are ignoring the people we love? Is it distracting us from our goals? Are we using it to get closer to God? While the internet is a great place and it gives us countless opportunities, it is not where we should live, and it must have a limit. Social media networks can save lives, but at the same time, they can waste our lives. We have to figure out how to balance things, because the good things in our life are not stuck in here. They're out here in the community, in people, in connections, in relationships, in purpose, in people, in love, and in our goals. They're not online. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.